Welcome to your ultimate guide to the Solaria universe, Zodiac Academy, the world of the Twisted Sisters, Caroline Peckham and Susanne Valenti, and this ultimately life-changing, spicy, phase shifter universe that is going to take you on the craziest, spiciest adventure of your life. I'm gonna walk you through the 3 reading orders that you can do for this entire Solaria journey, what books and series are involved in the world of Solaria, which ones you need to read, what they are about, how spicy they are, and then some frequently asked questions that I get about the entire world and the series. What is the Solaria universe? What is Zodiac Academy? What is this world? And what are the book series that make up this world? It is actually made up of 3 completed series. So we have Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. Chronologically, this comes first. It's going to be taking place 5 years before Zodiac Academy starts. And this is going to be a reverse harem spicy book here. So this is Dark Academia. It takes place at a school called Aurora Academy. It has a vampire shifter, female main character. Her brother has been unalived. She's going to get into Aurora Academy because there are 4 male main character suspects that she thinks may have unalived her brother. It's not really enemies to lovers, but it's sort of like reluctant allies to lovers, and we're gonna have a lot of spice, a lot of romance, a mystery plot line, and this is reverse harem, so that means that our girl Elise is going to have multiple male love interests. They are going to have some on-page action where multiple people are doing things at the same time, if you're into that. And a reverse harem, just in case you don't know, means 1 female main character and multiple male love interests at the same time. So there's not just 1, it's multiple, and usually in a reverse harem, she will end up with multiple male love interests, not just have like spicy time with them. Then we have this massive series here, Zodiac Academy, that is 14 books if you count the novellas, but it is 9 core books. It is going to take place at sort of like the prep school, the rich kid school that is a neighboring school to Aurora Academy, and this takes place 5 years later. Zodiac Academy is going to follow 2 female main characters. They are twins and they're Gemini twins. And Zodiac Academy is where you're introduced to sort of the world of Solaria. So it's a magical place, it's an alternate world where we have fae who are shifters. They can turn into beasts or animals or magical, mystical forms, and they all have a different type of elemental magic. So we have earth, air, fire, and water, the zodiac elements, and it is sort of contingent on what your Zodiac Academy sign is, but you can have multiple elements the more powerful that you are. The Fae world is a brutal world where you have to be tough in order to be accepted. There is no place for the weak in this world, so this is what we would call a bully romance. It is sort of a more extreme version of enemies to lovers, where our male main characters are not treating our female characters well in the beginning of the series, and it's a little bit intense. So just make sure you read the warnings, make sure you know what content you're about to get. The majority of that trope, that like deeper enemies to lovers trope, the enemies are going to be enemying sort of in books 1, 2, and 3. However, book 1, in my opinion, is going to be the hardest to get through if you're uncomfortable with that subject matter. And as readers, we're not really going to like anyone in this book. That's completely normal. That is the intent. The authors did that on purpose so that when you go through the character journey with these people, you go on an emotional journey and you are emotionally manipulated, and you are meant to feel completely different when you get here than you did when you started here. There are a lot of politics, there is a lot of plot in Zodiac Academy. It is ultimately a very spicy series. This has plenty of spice, it has lots of multiple POVs, there are a lot of different characters, and Zodiac Academy is not a reverse harem, so there's not going to be a why choose element, there's not going to be like main characters that have multiple partners. There is one MMF, male, female, partnership in this series, but they are side characters and that's not really the main focus of the story. Then we have Darkmoor Penitentiary, which is another reverse harem. So this has 1 female main character and multiple male love interests at the same time. This, unlike Zodiac Academy and Darkmoor, takes place at a prison. So it's sort of like Orange is the New Black, whereas these are sort of more like Harry Potter. So this is not Dark Academia. Our main character is going to be Rosalie. It's sort of like the world of Degrassi. Rosalie was like a child in Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. We got to meet her and see her origin story. She does pop up through Zodiac Academy, and then she's the main character in Darkmoor Penitentiary. So they are all very connected. You see every single character from all of the other series throughout this whole journey, throughout this whole world. But this one's just gonna focus on Rosalie and a couple of other male main characters that you have met earlier on in the series. So that is the world of Solaria. Those are the series that make it up. Then we also have Never Keep, which is not Solaria. It's like a different country. It's a different location that just happens to be in the same like world as these books, this is going to be a completely different vibe. It's sort of like Fourth Wing in the fact that it's like a military college and Fae go there to like train and be part of the like military area. This one, I believe, is going to be more of an enemies to lovers than it is like a reverse harem. This is a very different vibe than this whole series right here. Let's go over the reading order for this crazy massive world of books. My personal favorite reading order, the #1 way that I am going to recommend reading Zodiac Academy is this right here. Now stick with me because there are some novellas that I don't have hard copies for. I'm gonna walk you through where to put those, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why I recommend this order that might look a little bit crazy to you. This order is for ultimate emotional damage, for character growth, for impact, for feeling things, and it is also the only order that I personally recommend that is spoiler free, that makes everything a surprise. It gives you the most shock value. And personally, this is the way that I would tell everyone to read this series. So in this reading order, we are going to start out with Zodiac Academy books 1, 2, and 3. Now, why are we starting with Zodiac Academy? Mostly because the Zodiac Academy series does a really good job with world building, introducing you to the magic system, introducing you to sort of like the way things work, the dialogue, how it's gonna sound, how it's gonna feel, and that is in books 1, 2, and 3 of Zodiac Academy. This is also generally where our like main conflict and overarching like theme happen. So we're gonna start with Zodiac Academy 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to make a big old pit stop into Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and you're gonna read all 5 books back to back, no novellas for this series. Why am I putting Ruthless Boys after Zodiac Academy 1 through 3, especially since there is kind of a cliffhanger at the end of book 3. So as you're reading Zodiac Academy books 1 through 3, there's a character named Gabriel, and you don't really meet him by name, you don't see him in person, you don't actually meet him in books 1, 2, and 3. You hear about him. He's going to be the new professor that is coming to take over a class, and he is a main character who is in Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. The biggest reason you're gonna read Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac start to finish is because once you get to book 4 of Zodiac Academy, you officially meet Gabriel, and upon meeting him, he literally says who his wife is, and a big plot point in Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac is who is he gonna end up with, how is the romance gonna pan out, the big conflict point, and it is fully spoiled in book 4 if you read book 4 before Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. You're going to read Ruthless Boys 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 straight back to back. You're going to fall in love with this series. It's gonna be a little bit hard to shift gears from 3 to book 1. I promise it is worth it. I personally did not love Ruthless Boys when I first started it, so if that helps you, I was right there with you. After Ruthless Boys, with or without reading the epilogue, you're going to jump into book 4 of Zodiac Academy. Now, book 4 of Zodiac Academy, watch out. This is my favorite book in the series, and it is because of how angry and sad it made me. You're gonna read book 4, and then I'm gonna ask you to do something extremely difficult. I'm gonna ask you to take another pit stop, and we're gonna go back in time to the very beginning of the series. We're going to read 2 novellas, 0.5, Origins of an Academy Bully, and then you're going to read 1.5, which is The Awakening as Told by the Boys. The reason you're going to jump to these, it's going to be hard. Everyone complains, everyone cries about having to go back. There is a moment that happens in this book that is going to be emotionally impactful, and these 2 origin story books are directly related to a character that it has to do with. What it's going to do is make you feel even worse. It's gonna make you sort of hammer in that emotional damage. It's gonna make you more frustrated, more angry, more upset, and that is part of the emotional damage reading journey process. And after you read books 0.5 and 1.5, there is a little novella, a bonus collection of multi-POVs and short stories called Foxy Tales. They all involve POVs and throwbacks to things that have happened either in book 4 or before. So it is at this point a safe spot to read Foxy Tales. After you make that crazy painful pit stop into books 0.5 and 1.5, you're going to read book 5, 5.5, 5.6, and 5.7. That's going to be book 5, The Big ASS Party, Seth on the Moon, and then Night. Both of those live inside Live and Let Lionel. So I know this is complicated. If you really want to go on this journey, you're going to pick up Live and Let Lionel. Seth on the Moon and Night are going to be the Seth and the Leon chapters that are near the end of this book. You're going to read 5.5, Seth on the Moon, and Night from Live and Let Lionel, and you're not gonna touch or look at the rest of Live and Let Lionel. After you make that pit stop, it's a little bit more easy going forward. You're gonna read books 6, 7, 8, and 8.5. Now, Now, once you get to 8 and 8.5, I personally am going to recommend doing the tandem read of 8 and 8.5. After you read book 8.5, you're gonna read the series of bonus material that is Live and Let Lionel. So this is a collection of bonus material, short stories, alternate POVs, and it's going to be read after book 8.5 and before the finale, okay? So after Live and Let Lionel, you reach the pinnacle, you reach the finale of Zodiac Academy, where the main conflict that started in this book is going to be wrapped up in book 9 of Zodiac Academy. And then you're going to go into Darkmoor Penitentiary, which takes place 5 years after Zodiac Academy. The second option for a reading order for the Solaria universe is going to be the chronological order. Now, the chronological order is for the people who like to be very organized. They like to read about things in the event that they happen. We don't like to skip around through timelines, and we just sort of want to start and finish exactly where the timeline in the story goes. We're going to start with Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. That is 5 books, 1 through 5. There's no skipping around. There are no novellas that go with Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. After you read Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, you're going to start your Zodiac Academy journey with 0.5 Origins of an Academy Bully. So this is 0.5. It takes place before the start of Zodiac Academy Book 1, which is why you're going to read it first. After 0.5, you're going to read The Awakening, which is the official first book in the Zodiac Academy series. After The Awakening, that is where you're going to read book 1.5, which is that retelling of The Awakening as told by the boys. You're going to move right into Zodiac Academy 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's going to be straightforward, nothing crazy in between them. And then here is where you make your way into a couple of the novellas. 5.5, The Big ASS Party. You're going to read Seth on the Moon, which is inside of Live and Let Lionel, and then you're going to read Night, which is also in Live and Let Lionel. So technically in the series, those novellas are called 5.5, 5.6, and 5.7. After you read the novellas that go along with book 5, you're going to move into books 6, 7, 8, and 8.5. So if you're reading these in chronological order, the tandem read of 8 and 8.5 is actually pretty important because those are happening at the same time. The remainder of Live and Let Lionel, so you've already read Seth on the Moon, you've already read Night, the rest of Live and Let Lionel is going to go right here. I read the finale of the Zodiac Academy, which is book 9, jump 5 years into the future and read Darkmoor Penitentiary. So the third and final way I'm gonna recommend reading the Solaria universe might look a little unhinged. This is the publication order. The reason you would read it in publication order is to go on a journey with the writing and with the authors. So this is going to be literally the order in which the authors wrote the series. So this is if you want to go on sort of a journey of how the writing evolved. Going in publication order, the very first book that was published in the Solaria universe was 0.5 Origins of an Academy Bully. So you're going to read 0.5 right here, and then you're going to read Zodiac Academy books 1, 2, and 3. You're going to make a Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac pit stop, just a small one though. Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac books 1 and 2, and then you're going to jump into Zodiac Academy book 4. So after Zodiac Academy book 4, I believe, this is a little bit of a guess on my part, so don't yell at me, it's a little bit unclear. I believe after book 4 or book 6 is where The Awakening as told by the boys was written. So I'm gonna say after book 4, for publication order, it was published in 2021, you can read The Awakening as told by the boys, okay? If that's not 100% correct, I'm so sorry. And after you read book 4 of Zodiac Academy, you're gonna make a little bit of a strange pit stop. We're gonna read book 3 of Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and then book 1 of Darkmoor Penitentiary. After you read book 1 of Darkmoor Penitentiary, we're gonna go back to Zodiac Academy with book 5, 5.5, 5.6, and 5.7. And you're gonna make another Ruthless Boys and Darkmoor pit stop. You're gonna read Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac book 4 and Darkmoor Penitentiary book 2, and then we're jumping back into Zodiac Academy book 6. From there, we make another little Ruthless Boys Darkmoor time jump. So we're gonna go to the end, the finale of Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and then book 3 of Darkmoor Penitentiary. After you read Darkmoor Penitentiary book 3, you're going to go into book 7, 8, and 8.5 of Zodiac Academy. And if you're going by publication order, this is the only instance in where I would say you don't need to do the tandem read. We're going to read Live and Let Lionel, that's the collection of short stories and bonus materials. And then we're going to finish out with Zodiac Academy book 9 and the finale of Darkmoor Penitentiary. This is an excellent reading order to do for a Zodiac Academy reread. So if you read the whole series, whether or not you choose to do it chronologically or in my personal favorite reading order, this is how how I would recommend rereading the series. One of the biggest questions that has recently been asked about the Solaria world, the reading order, and the books is where do Neverkeep and Age of Vampires fall within the reading orders? Age of Vampires is a completely separate, completed 7-book series. It is going to involve vampires and vampire slayers. It is not in the same world as Solaria, so you do not need to incorporate it into your reading order. It's not related, different characters, different time period, different world, whatever. It can be read completely before Zodiac Academy or completely after. Neverkeep, where does this belong in the Solaria reading order? This takes place in the same world, and chronologically, it's actually going to go here. It takes place in a sort of devolved society that happened after Zodiac Academy. That is where Sins of the Zodiac is going to belong. So if you're reading chronologically, you're gonna read it after Zodiac Academy. Even though this takes place in the same world and it happens after this whole series here, there are no character crossovers, there are no spoilers, there is nothing in it that will ruin your Zodiac Academy reading experience if you read Zodiac Academy after this. This is just not a completed series yet, so you are going to be stuck on a big cliffhanger, and I would recommend something that's finished. Let's talk about some FAQs when it comes to Zodiac Academy. If you have additional questions, drop them below. So number one, the thing that I hear about Zodiac Academy is that there is a lot of SA and non-con material that happens as part of the enemies to lovers trope, and that just is not true, okay? So an enemies to lovers trope, a bully romance trope, is going to have certain uncomfortable elements, but they are not spicy. They're not involving the romance, they are not involving the main characters, and they're not involving that type of thing. So as part of the enemies to lovers trope, there is not non-con spicy material happening in that. That is not true. I don't know why people say that. A lot of people say that they DNF book 1 because there's grape in it. There is absolutely zero grape when it comes to our main characters, our romance, our plot, or literally anything that happens in the first half of this series. If we're being completely transparent, I know this is not what people are talking about because they're DNFing after book 1, but little mild spoiler here. It's not really a big spoiler, but I just want to prepare you in case it catches you off guard. In book, I think 7 of the Zodiac Academy series, our big bad villain, our bad guy who we all really hate, does have a non-con moment that happens with him. It is not spicy. It is not meant to be fun. It is not meant to be romanticized. It is meant to make the reader uncomfortable. And also, if you're kind of messed up like me, you're sort of this guy had it coming. I would look up, if you're worried about it, what page it's on, and you can just avoid that scene, and it's not going to take away from your reading experience. But that is the only scene that is on page that involves any sort of grape material that you're talking about in the entire series, also in the entire Solaria universe. Other thing I hear about this series is that people think that it is young adult, and I literally see multiple Goodreads reviews saying that this is a young adult series, and I would really like to know, did you actually read the series if you're giving that sort of feedback? Zodiac Academy is an 18+ series. This is not for young adults. It has tons, hundreds of pages of on-page spicy open door material. And I think where the confusion lies is that it has the word academy in it. They are all college-age people, and then Darkmoor is a prison, so they're full adults over there. I don't know who is spreading that rumor, but let's collectively tell them to stop doing that. The last thing that I hear is that Zodiac Academy is an anthology, and it does not matter what order you read it in. So if you've watched this video so far, you know that that's not true, that there is reading orders, and you need to read this in a linear fashion of some sort. But Zodiac Academy is not a different story per book. If you'll notice, they're literally labeled, okay? They go in an order from start to finish. There is a story that carries through from book 1 all the way through to book 9. And if you read them in any old order you want, it is literally going to make absolutely no sense. If you don't know what an anthology is, it means it's like a collection of stories that are sort of happening in the same world, but they're all about different people and they're all different stories. That is not what Zodiac Academy is. Zodiac Academy is one series, one story, just has a lot of different characters in it. Please don't do that. That is not gonna work. Let's talk real quick about the spice level in each series. So Ruthless Boys, the Reverse Harem, the first series chronologically, I would rate 5 out of 5 on the spicy chili pepper scale. This has a slow burn, so it's not gonna hit you in the face right out the gate in book 1. However, collectively in all 5 books, there's a lot of spice, and I would say that spice is a little bit heavier than plot. Zodiac Academy, I would personally rate 4 chilies out of 5 on the chili pepper scale. This has a lot more plot, there's a lot more world building, there's a lot more that is important than the romance, and it is a very, very slow burn. So book 1, 2, and 3, honestly, you're probably gonna be a little bit frustrated, and that's why I like the series. If I'm not frustrated and I don't feel like I've earned the spice when I get to it, I'm honestly not interested in the series. So there is one scene in book 1, I think there's maybe 2 or 3 in book 2, I think maybe 2 to 4 in book 3, and then exponentially it increases from books 4 until the end of the series. Book 8 was insane. And then Darkmoor Penitentiary is going to be something similar to Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. I feel like I would rate 4.5. I do feel like Ruthless Boys is more spicy than Darkmoor Penitentiary, but vibes-wise, they're very similar. This is 5 chili peppers, 4 chili peppers, 4.5, maybe 4.75. I think that's it when it comes to your ultimate guide to Solaria, Zodiac Academy, and the world of the Twisted Sisters. Let me know if you have any additional questions. What else do you want to hear about the story? What other topics do you want me to cover? Let me know what you're looking for, and I will see you next time.